My video cut off, so there'll be another part to this. But I was explaining that I noticed levels of symmetry with our gut. Our gut is these giant worm-like creatures. When you get down below sex, that are still big and asexual, and this perfection type thing to the worm. That it was symmetrical in a way that humans aren't symmetrical, and all this other stuff. And I started having this type of blinding realization. It was like, I don't know, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and that God could be a worm. And then I started thinking about serpents and all this other stuff, or, you know, I mean, sky's the limit with the possibilities. And then I condensed it and I retracted it, like I usually do. And I thought, well, it could be just plain Jane and physical, and there could be an eating source that's eating energy in this universe, and it's just kind of that kind of consumption thing. Well, I had to talk to myself on a different level and be like, we're a little different than you think. And that was a few years ago, because I beat one of my own barriers. There's a time and space event horizon, and I beat it. I sat doing a similar, without consciously, willingly trying to do it, I sat doing nothing, routinely listening to the same song over and over again, and somebody was trying to break into my sense of reality and scare me out of my wits, so I just stood, because I'll stand there scared stiff. You can actually scare me stiff if you scare me too much. So they noticed that, that was going on. Something just tried to rip out of my memory. Like I had thought, and it's like when you lose it, but this actually makes a pain in your head when they do it. That's how you know it's a ripping of a thought instead of something else. Well, I was in there and I started beating my own event horizon, and about how if time and space, and you are sitting there, it's basically like you take yourself while you're in it, out of it, and in it at the same time. And I noticed that somebody was trying to hurt me at that time. Well, I said, I basically thought of, I say basically, how the brain is encapsulated, reality is encapsulated in a brain, a perception of it, but then there's also a reality that's shared. There's reality of relativity, which is getting into Einstein stuff, where it's how real the situation is to you. You know, when you put your hand on a fire, it feels like a long time because it's hot. Well, that's how real the situation is to you. It's the level of reality. Danger is like some of the hardest reality there is. Well, that's danger. Pain is a hard reality. That's two hard realities, danger and pain. So that's, you know, we want, that's each moment is hammering, right? So when it's soft and it's comfortable and it feels like time just is so fast, even though, you know, time's going like this. So there's actually a vibration, or it seems like a vibration, to reality, that you could actually have a fabric once it's like that, which gets really neat. If you're smart enough to, or not smart enough, but if you're nerdy enough to think of that. I say smart, but genius really isn't about being smart. When it comes to technical knowledge, like I don't think geniuses have a ton of it when it comes to that thing. That's why you'll have an autistic savant. It's more like you're able to shred away most other things besides that basic concept that you're trying to think about and trying to know, and that's what makes you an expert. Well, an autistic or a savant that's doing it is going to do that with that. That makes it seem like an expert, but they're really taking things away. Genius usually knows how to subtract and then add and see things back to a blank. So it's actually being kind of stupid, which is kind of funny. You think of that airheaded girl that says like the weirdest, amazing thought out of nowhere. She basically, for the first time, thought about what you're talking about and cleared all the other cobwebs out and then gave you an answer. And for the first time, you're able to directly talk to her perceiving you, her reality, her intelligence, and there wasn't chaos or some kind of chaotic entity getting in the way. So I had to finish that.